I was 6 when the first X-Men movie came out. So Hugh Jackman has been Wolverine for my entire life. 17 years by the time this movie comes out. And it's really sad to see him go, because it's almost been like he's been like that parental father figure, that ultimate symbol of male masculinity. And to see him giving up, like, just to see him like this is his last hurrah, I'm shedding a tear just talking about it right now. So I've been Wolverine for Halloween. It's been a big part of my life, so I can't wait to see it. We'll hopefully get a trailer coming up soon, and I'll gladly talk about that. Speaking of trailers, we have the trailers for from the mind of Key and Peele, Jordan Peele, Get Out, a horror movie, mind you. You didn't thought you'd see that from that comedic voice, but the trailer is like a weird cross between Stepford Wives and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Which, when you put those two great movies together, and when I say Stepford Wives, I mean the original, not that remake. If you remember that remake, first of all, Get Out. But anyway, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and Stepford Wives put together in a horror film, basically about a young black man who goes with his white girlfriend to this community where it seems like all the black people are disappearing or like coming back in this really creepy way. It looks so scary. Like when I saw the trailer, I didn't know what to think of it when I first heard it. When I saw the trailer, I was like, I need to see this right now. This is just call it Get Out to the theater on February 24th and go see this movie because it looks that awesome. The other trailer we got was for Jackie, biopic on Jackie Kennedy, played by Natalie Portman, who might be getting her second Oscar nomination based on this trailer. I mean, it looks great. The word coming out of the movie has been so far so strong. It actually got a late last-minute pickup for a December 23rd release date. And look, it's produced by Darren Aronofsky. And people who know me know I'm not a big Darren Aronofsky fan. I didn't like Requiem for a Dream. I didn't like Pi. I didn't like... The only thing of his I really enjoyed was The Wrestler, but even then it was just mildly okay. But he's producing this, and it looks like that perfect blend of his great sensibility as a stylist with something a little bit more human. And it actually looks like the American version of the Queen. And it's fitting, because the Kennedys are the closest thing we have to a royal dynasty. And, oh my God, that final shot of just Kennedy in the car with, after he's been shot and Jackie just holding her face, like, she doesn't know what to say. Oh, it's hauntingly beautiful. And I wouldn't be surprised if Portman got the Oscar. Just based on the trailer, I was like, she doesn't really say much, but I'm like, give her a nomination, please. And the final trailer we have to talk about, big one, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tale. It dropped with the season finale of Fear the Walking Dead. And this is a franchise that people have kind of written off, which is funny because, I don't know why. The first one is a kind of a modern classic. I actually liked the second one more. I think that's my favorite installment. The third one is not great, but it's not bad. It's just sort of long. But after the fourth film, which is definitely the worst of the series, it just looks better. And
go back to OBS.
I'm going to keep talking really quick because for some reason we might have a little technical issue. Don't want to going to keep going with the flow, though. So,
go ahead and turn it off and back on.
We still live? The camera's become self-aware.
Okay, transition back to him.
It's going to terminate. I've seen enough Terminator movies.
Okay.
All right. So, like I was saying, Pirates of the Caribbean trailer. We didn't know what to expect from this one. And it looks, the minute it starts, it brings you back to that feeling of the first one. It's very dark. It's very haunting. It doesn't have the big action adventure feel, but it's sort of more horror movie vibe that we got from the first film. We have a ghost captain, this time played by Javier Bardem. And the last time Javier Bardem stepped into the big franchise as a villain, we got Skyfall. And he was pretty awesome in Skyfall, even if he was just doing the Joker. But the trailer looks haunting, and it kind of plays like Force Awakens, where Jack Sparrow is treated as this legendary figure. We don't see Jack at all in the trailer, but we hype him up. And that's kind of refreshing because, we got a little bit too much Johnny Depp in the last one, so it's kind of good to play his role down a bit. And just that, I have a theory right now. The kid in the trailer that he's talking to is the son of Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann. Just calling it right now. He's even wearing the same necklace. We still going live, or?
You're not on camera.
Not on camera? Can they still hear me, though? That's the point. The world can still hear me. Well, everybody, while they can still hear me, I'm going to let you know. Son of Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann. He is wearing the same necklace as Will wore in At World's End. And it would be, continuity-wise, it would play off the themes of it being like the first film, where you have a Turner boy looking for his father, and Jack Sparrow having known said elder Turner. So it's like a good rhyming scheme of the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. So that's it for trailers. When we come back and we get the live footage, we're going to run right into our review. of Luke Cage and the Magnificent Seven.
Just keep talking.
All right. I guess while we're waiting, I will talk about some things that are currently that pilot for Westworld premiered on HBO. Really good. I didn't know what to expect from it. And the fact that it was so good that HBO put it online for free for everybody to see it, even if you don't have an HBO account. They're that confident in the show that they think that putting it online, the pilot episode, will get people to buy a subscription. So check it out. It's really captivating. Great blend of science fiction and Western, and unlike most Westerns, it uses heavy shadows, which implies something cold and more science fiction element to it. All 10 seasons of Smallville are on Hulu. Come on, guys, we're living in, what's essentially the golden age of superhero television, but let's look at the show that pretty much launched it. And before Arrow, before Flash, we had Smallville. And, God, it's hard to believe it's been 10 seasons, and that was 16 years ago, 15 years ago. Oh, it makes me feel kind of old. I remember watching that show. That show started when I was started in, middle school, not even middle school, elementary school. I remember my dad watching that show. And then, what else? Let's see. Obviously, Halloween's coming around the corner. All the Halloween movies are coming on Netflix. Nightmare Before Christmas, they just put on, which, that's a holiday classic, just like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. For those of you who cannot see but hear laughing, that is my guest, who we're going to get to in a moment after we get through a quick review of Magnificent Seven and Luke Cage. Also, Iron Fist was just announced, has a premiere date of March 24th, 2017. Good luck. All right, everybody. So now we got the footage back. Sorry about that slight hiccup. Recording live is a difficult thing. Very interesting. But the people behind the camera are great. They're professionals. They got us back on. Thank you, Karina, Kevin, and Kyle. Now, we're going to do a quick rundown of the reviews. Magnificent Seven. More like Adequate Seven. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. After Mrs. Peregrine, everything would be better. And, it's fun. And that's all you can really ask for. Westerns for the past 20 years, pretty much actually more than 20 years, ever since The Dirty Dozen. And then, obviously, Unforgiven, the Western has always been about deconstructing, because it's a real point in history. But you kind of miss and long for the days of the old-fashioned John Wayne Western, where it was just kind of cool to be a cowboy. It was fun to have action and adventure and excitement, and they were mythic heroes. That's what this Magnificent Seven is. It's, it's basically a modern day. It's taking a cowboy movie and telling it as a superhero story. A wider range of different people from different backgrounds coming together to fight the bad guys, and it's a good old fun time. Got Denzel Washington, who carries his star power with him. There's a moment in that movie when he walks out, and you can feel 30 years of Denzel Washington being Denzel Washington with him. And he comes out, it's like no other actor could have played this role. If you've gotten Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise, who are movie stars in their own right, but they wouldn't have carried that power and nobility with them. When Denzel walks out, it's Denzel walking out, and he's going to kick some ass. So Magnificent Seven, I enjoyed it. It was fun. It wasn't great, but it wasn't they didn't go too silly like they did with Wild Wild West or Jonah Hex, and they didn't go too serious like they did with Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. And yes, I said the whole title because it's worth it, because it's a good movie. So Magnificent Seven, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's worth it. It's a good fun time. It's like a summer movie coming out in late September. And then finally, Luke Cage, premiered on Netflix. I binge watched the whole series in 3 days. I was up till 2 in the morning on Sunday to finish it up. Great start. I think like a lot of the Netflix shows, it has the basic problem that it's 4 episodes too many. I don't think you need 13 episodes for it. It tries to stretch basically one plot into that many episodes, and you kind of get scenes that are redundant or repetitive. The villain twist at the end of the 8th episode is really what kind of kills it. They set up this one great villain, Cottonmouth, and then switch focus to a new villain. I'm not going to spoil it, but it just kind of killed the momentum, and it's a villain of trying to be too much at once. It doesn't have the focus that, say, Kingpin or Kilgrave had in Jessica Jones and Daredevil. And like Daredevil, it has the problem of has a great start. It starts out so strong. And kind of in the middle or the end starts to fall apart under its own weight. Jessica Jones is the only one that's held it completely through all the way. But like Jessica Jones, and I think it's to Luke Cage's credit to me, but where Daredevil doesn't have it, it's trying to say something, and it uses a comic book character and uses the roots of that comic book character to say something about the world we live in. And I think now more than ever, we need a hero like Luke Cage. I think the creator said something about the image of a bulletproof black man in a hoodie is a powerful image for today. And Luke Cage says something about the history of Harlem, the history of race relations in our country, and uses that hero as a message. And I think it's really important. And that in of itself makes Luke Cage worth checking out. Also, probably the best soundtrack of any television show. Totally check it out. A mixture of hip-hop, R&B, and jazz and soul music. So great. So, guys, that's my review of everything going on in Hollywood. But like the point of this show is that we bring on local talent because, like I always say, people are making movies all over the world, not just Hollywood. And there are a lot of talented individuals who are in Arizona, and my point is to highlight them. And this one is actually sort of like a Luke Cage or a Defenders type thing, where we've been building him up for a while because we've had two people who actually worked on the movie we're talking about on this show already. Janet Salas and Lucy Owens, who have been my guests before, have worked on this film. And today we have the big man, the boss, the creative mind. Please welcome with me the director and co-writer of the movie Postmarked. Please welcome with me today, Gene Ganssle.
Hi, Richard. So glad to be on here with you. You're like an encyclopedia of how you just can talk about this stuff just nonstop. Working through the technical difficulties. Very nicely done, and I'm glad to be here. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you for coming on here. I wanted you on here since we started this show because I remember hearing about Postmarked because I had a lot of friends who worked on it. And I remember I've had for those of you who don't know, Gene is a professor at ASU. And I've had him for 2 classes, so it was interesting to see him as the professor and then just outside of class. So I Gene, can you tell us a little bit about Postmarked? Can you run us down? Can you give us a quick synopsis of it?
Sure. Well, this is a wonderful story based upon the fun experiences that the original playwright Ron Hunting would have day to day as a letter carrier, which was his day job. But he's also a wonderful actor, producer, director, and his play that this is based on is actually going to be produced at Stray Cat Theater this fall. But I went to see a stage reading of it a while back, and it was a whole lot of fun because it was one of these almost Reservoir Dogs sort of situations where there's all of a sudden this letter carrier is in a warehouse and he's got thugs threatening to kill him, and you don't know exactly what's going on, but he may have seen something that he shouldn't, and we find out he's told some of his co-workers and they get brought in, and so there's a whole lot going on. It's very dangerous with this shadowy organization and this really wonderful sexy villain and all the things that can happen, and there's some twists and turns, and basically they turn the tables and they have to find a way to make a deal and save themselves. Oh yeah, that twist. So it's a whole lot of fun, and it's very funny.
Oh, it's so funny, and that twist at the end was so. I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody if you haven't seen it, but that twist was. I was shocked. Now. It's funny that we're going to jump a little bit ahead and we'll kind of come back, but
sure.
You referenced something that you said, it's very Reservoir Dogs. I wanted to ask you, stylistically, because you were directing it, what were some films you drew upon? Were there any films that particularly inspired you while directing it, or visual cues that you had?
A lot of what I saw for this was just the comedy of the situation.
Yeah.
And that ordinary letter carriers, a lot of it came from, the actors themselves. And the inspiration from when I originally saw the staged reading. Yeah. And so watching something up on its feet, it was really wonderful to see. Oh, yeah. And just the influences when we were shooting, we were having a whole lot of fun. And there was just some areas where we would just go ahead and work through and improv some things and look through it. And the director of photography, John Sedana, was awesome in terms of how he would frame things. We did one shot where we just went all the way around, 360 degrees around one of the interrogations. And it was really awesome.
Can I ask you, do you remember how long it took to set that shot up? Because I remember watching, I was like, that must have been a long day of setup.
That was most of one morning.
Was it really?
The thing is, you try to shoot, to shoot a feature film you got to go at least 20 days and longer to get something like that. And originally when I wanted to do it, I really could only afford 10 days. We got to 12 because of just some things that happened, and thank goodness we became part of. I was originally going to do it on my own, but we ended up being part of the Film Spark Summer Project because a Dean Cain project it fell through. Yeah. And Chris Lamont gave me a call and offered to produce and offered all the interns, and all of a sudden we're getting help from Canon. We're getting $100,000 in glass. That's why it looks so good. We just really it was wonderful to have then a second unit working as well. And so we were able to cover everything, and it looks beautiful.
That must have been such a relief to get all that extra help, because you had planned for 10 days. How many days did you end up shooting actually?
We shot 12.
You shot 12. Okay, so
but we had a second unit going.
Oh, okay. So that must have been
that helped a lot.
That must have really helped, because that must have cut so much time off.
Absolutely.
All right. Now I really want to talk to you about the different processes of it, because obviously pre-production, production, and then post-production. What was can you tell us a bit about the pre-production process?
It was a little rushed, only because I was trying to get the funds for the film. And at the same time, moving forward, when I spoke to Chris Lamont, he basically said, well, I can help make this happen for you and get you all these interns and all this, production assistants, but we have to move the shoot up. And so we moved the shoot up by over 2 weeks and really just, got all of that done. Wonderful opportunity to do some casting. We got all local actors for the film. Really just running through it almost like rehearsing a play.
Yeah.
Which was really great because that's how it started, you know. And so the actors that we got were just wonderful in that. We talked about Jeffrey Middleton, as George, and he didn't, when he came in to read, I didn't expect to cast him, but he was just perfect for George.
Oh, yeah.
And it was wonderful. And other actors that I know as well that came in, but it's nice to be able to cast something locally and do it there. When we got into production, I was not sleeping very well, and it was really a blur for me.
I mean, the fact that you weren't sleeping during production shows you were doing it right. Like that's how. Like if you're able to get a good night's sleep during production, then you're obviously doing something wrong. But and then
true.
Obviously post production, because 12-day shoots, and then pre production you got a little bit rushed. But post production you had a little bit more time. What was like the window for post production?
We didn't have one, but we took our time.
Okay.
And the wonderful thing about it was Tyler Tang from ASU, a wonderful student editor, just went in and just did an amazing job at just finding the moments and the right takes and that sort of thing. And we would sit together and watch it and go back and work a little bit more. But the thing for us is we still had to get it done a little bit faster than I would have liked, because the thing about it is we're doing this for Ron Hunting, who is the original writer and has ALS. And this became a community project where we're donating half the proceeds of release of the film toward ALS research at the Hunting's direction. And, ALS is a disease that takes you quickly.
Yeah.
He started writing this thing, and by the time he was finished writing the play, he could only type with one hand. At this point, Ron can no longer speak. He can't move. And, he uses his eyes to communicate via a screen. And we wanted to make sure that we got the film done in time for him to see it.
Well, this is something. Well, that is the most noble. Like that is something that most movies, the very fact that you have that with this movie, that's something that not only makes you a great filmmaker but a great person. And Ron, for Ron, and it really shows that all the love and effort you put into this movie is up there. And I think Ron, if you're watching, thank you for telling the story. And guys, those of you who are watching, and you hear that should be something that motivates you to look at Postmarked, check it out. And it's something that, how many movies can you say have that, worthy of something behind them? This isn't just about making money or getting someone famous. This is about something for real importance for ALS. Yeah,
we call it a comedy for a cause. And so Postmarked movie on Facebook, we got the trailer up there. We had a wonderful world premiere at the Phoenix Film Festival as a showcase film. And we're working the festival circuit right now, but we're going to be going ahead and releasing it right to video on demand and on Blu-ray starting at the beginning of next year. And so we'll be done and ready to, once again, basically get the funds not only to pay off production, but also half the proceeds. Anything we take at this point on our GoFundMe or anywhere else goes right to ALS research.
That's gonna be wonderful. And now that we've talked a little bit about Postmarked, I want to just talk about a little bit about Gene Ganssle, the man, because now I want to talk about. You're like, oh no. Just want to talk a little bit about.
Sure.
It looks like someone just summoned him for a court appearance.
That was not on the list of official questions that I was to be asked.
I just wanted to ask a little bit about
Sure.
what you have planned next after Postmarked. Is there any project you're working on now? Is there anything we can look forward to from you?
The thing that I loved doing Postmarked, and it was, for me, it was huge. But as I look at what I'm doing, I really enjoy my teaching at ASU.
Yeah.
I'm also an actor. I mean, that's really where I started. I've been an actor here in the Phoenix area for 26 years.
Oh, yeah.
And I got commercials running now and still do. And I'll be doing Twister Dickens over at Phoenix Theater for the holidays. It's a whole lot of fun. Lots of improv involved in that stage production.
Check out Twister Dickens just to see him on the stage, because
there you go.
He's someone who's really funny, really talented, and the reason I'm able to be here on camera and not panic is because of him, because he taught me how to read from a teleprompter. Because I had done stage shows. I'd never done something in front of a camera, which is really nerve-wracking. And I remember his class at ASU is he put us in front of a camera, taught us to act, and it made me feel a little bit more comfortable. So part of the reason I'm here today is because of you. So I want to thank you for that. That's one reason why I wanted to have you on here. Also to highlight Postmarked for a great cause.
Appreciate it.
So-
I've got something for you.
Oh, you got something for me?
Oh, yeah.
We've
Yeah.
never had something
Wanna make
given
sure.
to me.
I mean,
No
it's
one's-
nice that you have that little poster there.
No one's ever given me
You
something.
know, there's this other one. There's this other design, poster design.
What? Look at that! And
But dude, you gotta have the
oh,
autographed full
the
size.
autographed one. Look at
The
that!
autographed full size poster for you.
Is that everyone? Is that everyone's? We got Jeffrey.
We don't
on?
have
We got-
we don't have all the autographs on there, but we do have Ron and Athena Hunting there. They Tony Ekstad and Brian Splice, Ben Tyler, lots of people. I mean, it was wonderful.
Look at that.
So and I'll sign it somewhere too.
Oh yeah, you got to sign. I was gonna say your name isn't on here.
It's a whole lot of fun. Postmarkedmovie.com. Can I do any more shameless promotion than that?
That's our entire business is like shameless promotion. Guys, postmarked.com. I'm gonna help them promote it.
Postmarkedmovie.com.
Postmarkmovie.com, guys. So, guys, thank you for watching. Please welcome, Gene. Thank you for coming on to the show.
Glad to be here, Richard. Nice job.
I also would like to point out that we're calling him Gene because I always knew him as Professor Ganssle, so it's very weird going into the professional world. But guys, thank you for watching Within the Frame. Please check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And please click that subscribe button if you want to follow me on Twitter. Please follow me on Twitter at RLFink94. And I just set up an Instagram post. You can catch up on movie news or anything you want from me on there. Same Instagram name is also RLFink94. So guys, thank you for watching. Gene, thank you for coming on.
Glad.
And everybody, thank you for staying within the frame.
Awesome.
That was our best one yet, I think.
Oh, great.
That's
Nice
it.
job. No, but